And we're checking in with Shane Stinson. He is one of the main men at WyoWrestling.com. Shane, thank you so much for taking a few minutes of your day and being with us today.
Yes, sir. I appreciate being on.
One of the things that strikes me about Wyo Wrestling is how detailed it is and how you've really got, you can tell there's a lot of passion for the sport of wrestling that goes into it, just as part of the rankings and the different things that you guys do. Kind of walk us through a typical week. You know, here we are the second week of January or third week, whatever you want to call it, and you guys are right in the thick of things as far as wrestling's concerned in Wyoming high school stuff. Kind of walk us through a day or a week and what it's like to run Wyo Wrestling.
Sure. So I take care of all the rankings. I did have a gentleman that helped me do the 4A rankings for quite a while, but he's doing other stuff on the site. So I take care of all the rankings. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, I'm kind of inputting all the data into my database, kind of getting the kids where they need to be. And then Wednesday evening, I shoot that off to our tech guy up in Powell, and he inputs that in. And then I have a gentleman down in Green River that takes care of the featured wrestlers. So he sends me those, usually about one a week, and we try to keep that to just seniors. We start with, state champions first and then kind of work down from there. Try to make sure they're good students and good, just good human beings that we put up there as well as being, great wrestlers. So that's kind of what we do on a typical week. And then just try to keep the forum flowing a little bit, try to get a little conversation on there, which nowadays is harder than it used to be because nobody wants to, go out on a limb and say anything negative or, anything. So it's kind of hard to get people to talk on the forum, but we just try to put information out there and let it carry itself.
Now, when you start to go through different rankings and things like that for these individual wrestlers and also for teams, I mean, there's a lot of action going on. You've got, dozens and dozens of teams. You've got 3 different classifications, and all these different. And then you got people that all these different kids in each weight class that are all competing kind of for your attention. How do you keep an eyeball on all that stuff?
Track wrestling is a great thing. Most of the results are on track wrestling. So once you start inputting data for each wrestler, the rankings pretty much take care of themselves. This kid beat this kid, but he lost to this kid. It's easy to rank for the most part at that point. 2A is the one I struggle with the most because there are still some smaller tournaments that are not on track wrestling. So finding results for those is a little bit of a struggle. But for the most part, the top teams, Kimmer, Lingle, Fort Laramie, Moorcroft, those teams usually go to bigger tournaments. So finding results for their kids isn't too bad. So yeah, just kind of takes care of itself once you get going. So it's not too bad.
How much of a conversation with coaches across the state are part of the ranking process?
So I hit the coaches up at the beginning of the year, and they send me their initial lineup, what they think it's going to be, and I get probably half of them that will send me something, and the other half doesn't for whatever reason. And then if I need something, like I was just messaging with the coach this morning, he ended up sending me some results for his tournament last weekend that wasn't on track and had a few other questions for him. Most of the coaches are pretty open about what's going on. They'll tell me the information that I need. Hey, why is this kid not been wrestling? Well, he's been sick, or whatever. They're pretty open about that. Some won't tell me anything at all, which that's fine. I mean, I don't know if they think I'm trying to put their secrets out there or what, but that's not it at all. Hey, we're just trying to promote the sport of wrestling, and that's all. That's our main focus. That's all we're trying to do. And rankings is a big part of that because everyone wants to see where their kid's ranked. So that really drives the eyeballs to the website.
Yeah, it certainly is a passionate fan base. Obviously, that goes without saying too much. and especially in Wyoming, wrestling still matters in Wyoming and a lot of states like it. And, there's probably no better culminating event than those 2 days of state wrestling that are there at the event center. And so how do you kind of balance that passion and also with objectivity in terms of, because I'm sure people give you all kinds of unsolicited opinions in terms of rankings and things like that. How do you kind of balance input as you go about this?
Honestly, all the years I've been doing this, which is probably 10 or 12, I haven't gotten that much pushback on my rankings. Now, once in a while, I'll get a angry mom email, hey, my kid beat this kid, and, why is he not higher? And I'll either have an explanation for her, or I didn't have that result. So it's pretty easy to fix, whether I need to move the kid or I don't need to move the kid. The complaints I have had, they've kind of taken care of themselves once I explain what's going on. So, passionate, yes, but also most people understand where their kid is going to be and where he's supposed to be in the rankings. But once in a while, I do get that, hey, my kid beat this kid, he needs to be up here, and I agree, I missed that result. So I make that adjustment the next ranking. So yeah, I love the passion, but it's not usually a adversarial thing. So
speaking with Shane Stinson of WyoWrestling.com, Shane, talk to us about some of the features of your website and maybe some things that people obviously are familiar with the rankings and some things like that, the featured wrestler. What are some other things that are at Wyo Wrestling that maybe you guys have developed over time that maybe people aren't as familiar with?
Well, let me just take a look here. Sorry, real quick. So the featured wrestler is a big thing. The kids love doing the interviews, and they love getting put up there, and it's pretty much for everybody to see. It's a pretty neat deal. We do have some other tabs on there for, you can go back and look at the history of Wyoming wrestling, which is, pretty special too. The forum is what is really fun when you have a lively group of people that will participate in it. We don't always get that, like I said earlier, but it's still, if you get somebody on there that is just what kind of wanting to stir the pot, it's kind of fun. And I don't let anything derogatory go on. If you're going to talk bad about a certain kid, nope, that comment's going to get deleted right away. But, just people getting on there and talking wrestling, and that's kind of a fun feature that not everybody takes advantage of. I think a lot of people get on there, but they don't post on there.
Okay.
Other than that, the Facebook page is kind of, a lot of people know we have the Facebook page, but they didn't realize we had the website too. So anytime I post something on Facebook, I try to, tag our website too, so they can get on the website and take a peek there too.
So Shane, can people interact with you as far as like, hey, I got a great picture of my kid at this tournament and send it to you? Do you guys do stuff like that?
Absolutely. Yep. So if they send it to me, which my email is, I put my email on there all the time, so they know, it's not hard to find that. They can shoot me pictures, and I'll send them to our tech guy, and he'll get them put up. And, so that's a pretty neat deal that, parents can, now is what they like to do is they like to send me about 50 pictures, and I can't put all 50 up.
Right.
So if parents, if there is some parents out there that want to send me pictures, hey, give me the best 2 or 3 and send them to me, and we'll get them put up. But when they send me a whole bunch, that makes it a little bit of a struggle.
Yeah, probably a little bit too much of a backlog there. Well, hey, we've been speaking with Shane Stinson of WyoWrestling.com. Shane, anything we haven't touched on that you might want to mention?
Nothing on the site. I appreciate you guys having me on and talk about that. That's a great deal and great. We're nonprofit. We don't make any money or It actually cost us a little bit of money to run the site, so it's all volunteer. So when you put us out there, I really appreciate that. So thank you very much.
Oh, it's our pleasure, and we appreciate the hard work and passion that goes into it. Shane Stinson with WyoWrestling.com.